Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your ever no short. I have to apologise. It's going to be some disruption on the sound on this one. Basically, there's a shop above ours which has been empty for a good long time, and it feels like they're refurbing it and getting it ready to go. So there's sounds of people working. It's been my entire day, but hopefully I won't get in the way as we review Ronin, Book 2 by Frank Miller as part of Frank Miller Presents. And it's kind of impossible to talk about a Frank Miller comic book without talking about Frank Miller, I'm afraid. Yes, he is a problematic character in the comic book industry. He has been in favour of Wall Street as opposed to people protesting Wall Street. He is responsible, although he no longer agrees to it, of writing a very racist comic book. And he is more than willing to objectify women to quite an alarming degree in his comic books. But on top of all that, he's also a brilliant writer, responsible for some of my all-time favourite comic books. Within just Sin City alone, there is my single favourite piece of comic book and my single favourite piece of comic book writing. He's responsible for some fantastic Batman stuff and some Daredevil stuff, but even within those, he can do some good stuff and some bad stuff. I mean, he did 300 and then whatever the sequel that was, and he did Dark Knight Returns and then the terrible second one for that. But he's not just a bad writer or a good writer in isolation. He does not like one good book then one bad book. He has ticks which come across in pretty much everything he does, and I suppose it's whether or not you agree that they are worthy or disappointing. And for this one, we do start with one that is, again, it could be problematic. It's not the worst thing he does, but it's the objectification of the female form. It really doesn't take long to get a nipple, which again, I'm no prude, but it felt like it was just very quick into it, and it's followed in the next panel by the line, "Oh, that soft, soft flesh, so easy to penetrate." And I can't remember which movie it is, but it's a line, not a good enough excuse to use the word penetrate. I just can't help but feel it set me in a wrong state of mind very early on for what I was hoping to get, which was, I loved Ronin. It is brilliant, over-the-top action, and it's fantastic, and it's got cool sci-fi beats, and yeah, really, really good. And this one does have that. I mean, this opening sequence with the penetrating of the flesh. Think like Matrix cyberpunk kind of stuff, almost biomechanical threat, as the main character Casey wakes up from a nightmare, but this creature, a machine should I say, who claims to be a sister, injects and penetrates with a variety of biomechanical things, and we start getting the story of the Ronin. Once that story's kind of got to a point where we're caught up a little bit, it then goes to a Lone Wolf and Cub story. But it feels very much like this story is just taking place in Casey's mind, because we see quite clearly that she is having visions of a past and remembering things even though she doesn't want to, and the machine is making her do it. And the actual sequence we get in the Lone Wolf and Cub, femme-led with a female lone wolf, but I think a male cub, is really good. It suits Miller's style of writing, I think, quite nicely. It is slow, well-paced. When action comes, it is impressive, but it's more some jarring action rather than a nice clear flow. And again, I kind of like that. I think it does work for him, and I've got to say the artwork is amazing. I could open up pretty much any random page. This one happens to be the center page where it's fallen open. That is good. I like the reduced colouring. It is just black, whites, and greys. There's also a really nice tick where the outfit Casey's wearing in the Lone Wolf Cup sequence has a white top, which is just pure white. There is no detail in it whatsoever, and it feels like an odd kind of negative space that's enveloping her. It's a really nice idea, and it looks fantastic. But unfortunately, for all the things I like about it, creature design, character design, costume design, the pacing of the story, it is effectively recapturing what they're trying to do with Ronin, using that kind of cyberpunk Matrix vibe, but then going into a Lone Wolf and Cub vibe. And because it's so easy for me to use these phrases, and if you're a fan of popular media, at least the kind of media that Frank Miller would be enjoying as well, you kind of know exactly what you're going to get from it. Yes, the connective tissue could be interesting, and I'm hoping we're going to get to explore a little bit more of that as it goes on. But overall, what we're getting is just something which can be very easily described and doesn't really push many boundaries. And I've got to be honest, I think Frank Miller playing it safe sometimes isn't necessarily to his benefit. When he went back and did his third volume of Dark Knight, I thoroughly enjoyed it. The artist choices were fantastic, and it told a really cool, interesting story. It took us to places I wasn't expecting. I guess I was hoping for something like that with Ronin Book 2, and unfortunately it is just, not necessarily exactly what I expected, but everything made sense and flowed in a way that I was like, oh, I know what he's doing here, I know what he's doing there, I know how all this is playing off together. And as such, it just means it's a really nice idea, really well presented, but doesn't do anything out of the ordinary. I hope you do get something from it, because if you do pick it up and read it, there is plenty to enjoy, but it just didn't quite work for me. That's it from me today. I'll be back tomorrow with another review. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you don't want to miss out on anything. Until then, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.